Okay, I'm going to now spend a little bit of time talking about the additional techniques chart. And yes, I have a bona fide wizard wand here. This was a gift from a close friend of mine. And I was just commenting with Chris here that it would be nice if I had some sort of a pointer, and I remembered. So here we go. So this is the additional techniques, and essentially there are certain things that we do in TVM quite often that are a little more involved and a little more difficult to commit to memory, or we can't compress them into a body point and just have a one-line listing. And that's essentially what the body points chart is. It's a bunch of different techniques that's just nice to have without having to look at the manual. Out of the charts, if I'm not going to have all of them on the wall, this might be one of the ones I would be most tempted to not put up on the wall, because I can just flip into the manuals maybe if I want to do that. Or you may love this one. At any rate, up at the top we have program sequences, pathological. So over here in the emotional and energetical dynamics, or above in the emotional races and program sequences, we have all the emotional races, but also the program sequences that relate to emotions and relate to the energetic fields of the body. The ones that relate more to kind of pathologies, illnesses, that type of thing, are saved here. We call them program sequences pathological. And we've got 3 columns of those. So if you menu on the menu dynamics to the additional techniques chart, you come here and you ask program sequences pathological and you get a yes, you can ask column 1, column 2, or column 3, or column 4. And then you can ask to start from the top or start from the bottom. So if I was column 1 and I started from the bottom, then I would just ask endocrine system to regulate, edema, EBV and mono, drowsiness, yes. So then I know that I'm going to test and correct the program sequence for drowsiness. Or maybe the next one, vaccinations, I come over here. Vaccinations is broken up into the vaccination corrections you test with your right hand, the vaccination tests that you do with your left hand, or the vaccination tests you do with the both. So I'm going to menu to vaccinations, and I'm going to ask right-handed, left-handed, or both. And then say right-handed, then I'm going to say from the top or the bottom. If it's the bottom, varicella, no. Typhoid, no. Tetanus, yes. And it says the right hand on the left virus, correct T3, T8. Maybe I don't remember where the left virus is. So I come over here and I look up virus, and virus is L48. So I come over here and I count down from the top, 1, get down to 48 on the left. Oh yeah, virus point is right there. So that's how you do vaccinations. The next one in yellow, we have metabolisms that are listed. In green, we have the lymphatics. And that's just one section. So if you go to lymphatics, you can just ask top or bottom and then start menuing from there. Next section in teal, we have categories. We have categories 4 all the way through 15 there. And the next section is in the blue, which is cardiac low backs. Test A, B, C, D, E, F, and then activity cardiac low back is on the second column. And then we come to common integuments. Common integuments are split into individual, which are all tested with the single hand, and master, which are tested with 2 hands. And then, so that takes us down to the purple, and then we get to programs, which is gray. And I like to divide the programs up into infectious or autoimmune. If you notice, the first group of programs, Cytobacterovirus, Cytomegalobacteria, Cytomegalovirus, Epstein-Barr virus, those are all infections. whereas lupus, multiple sclerosis, shingles are all autoimmune related. So that just allows me to chunk it out and get closer. If I get autoimmune, then I'll just ask lupus, multiple sclerosis, or shingles. And then the procedures to run those are all listed here. Then here we have this 16.6 sugar control technique. So this is one of the sugar infections, and probably, I don't know, maybe a third of our patients need this at some point, so it's quite common, but there are several steps, and a couple times I've had it committed to memory, and most of the time I have to look it up. And so now here it is, just right on the chart, easy to find. Next we have Eisen distortion, and so we have test 1 all the way through test 8. So I would just ask tests 1 through 4, no. Test 5, 6, 7. So now I know I come right to test 7, tells me what to do. Touch the left hypothalamus, close the eyes. Left hypothalamus, go through the 9 eye positions, holding the point, and then correcting hypothalamus. All the instructions are right here. And then the last one, levels, is in orange, and you have level 1 through 9, and all the instructions you need on how to run levels are in this opening paragraph. And then the specific suture that you're going to be spreading is listed there as level 1 through 9. In addition to that, we put here the blood pressure ratio stages. So when you're working with blood pressure ratio, you remember when you touch the heart point and the transverse processes of T2 and get a weakness, you need to find out what's going to strengthen the muscle. So while those are being contacted, either you're touching them or you have Vicaria acuseeds on them, then you go through this order, Sex2, kidneys, liver, etc. That's all listed there for you. Another thing that we have here, and again you can access this through here, is the Symptom Zodiac chart. So that's listed here with the Zodiac months, and also in this circle, that's not a yoga pose, or maybe it is, but that's not what it's designed. This is showing how the different months correlate to weaknesses in what parts of the body. And so that is there for just quick reference, and then those parts are expounded upon on the outside, and they both allow you to know areas that might need additional support for your patients, but also different areas that relate to each other as we teach in the seminars. And then the last thing here, timed problems chart. This is the TBM version of the Rory Clark, and we have that there for reference. So that is the additional techniques.